Welcome back to Ruby on Nails, and today is the long-awaited Mooncat review. So this is going to be a little bit different from my standard reviews since I initially planned this as just a general brand review, where I would pick out a number of polishes to test out. I wanted to try a selection of their formulas, and then I would bring you my thoughts based on that. Well, lucky me, they had a brand new collection coming out around the same time that I was planning my review, and I had already delayed it by a few weeks, so I thought I would, delay the video some more and buy the collection. So on top of purchasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On top of purchasing 5 polishes in a range of their formula, I also decided to pick up the Expedition Atlantis set, which is 5 polishes, and at the same time I decided to pick up their Topcoat because I had totally forgotten to do that in my initial purchase. So today you are definitely going to be getting a range of formulas by Mooncat. And a little bit of history on the brand. This is technically not my first time buying from Mooncat. I've actually been following them since the beginning of my page and definitely the beginning of this YouTube channel. I started following them from Simply Nailogical when they were still Live Love Polish, and they sold a variety of indie nail polish brands. It transitioned from Live Love Polish to Mooncat back in last October 2021, and I've been a little bit hesitant to purchase from their brand. Their whole marketing isn't really my vibe right now. It's very dark, emo, early 2000s kind of branding. They have I don't know if some of you are old enough, or actually I think a lot of you are old enough to remember when you'd go to a website and your mouse would suddenly change icons. Well, they have that now. I hated those things back then, and I hate them now. If I can figure out how to block that, I will. In order to collect all of my thoughts, because I've been collecting them for about a month now, or whenever I started talking about this, I actually needed to write things down. And so I've had a lot of time to kind of plan out my thoughts and whatnot, and that's why this video is going to be a little bit different, because not only is it going to be swatching a new collection and some of their previous formulas, but I had time to collect the thoughts of the general population, which I might include here if I can find them. So I have a couple pages of notes. So let's get this party on the road. The first thing I wanted to discuss, and I'm going to be doing this in order of initially placing my order online, to receiving, to swatching, to sitting with those swatches, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. My initial thought, it shipped really fucking fast. Like really, really fast. I wrote down here, it shipped within an hour of me placing the order, and that was with both orders. There are a lot of brands out there that will pre-package collection orders. Like, I'm pretty sure Holo Taco is one of those brands that will pre-package the collections because they know that a lot of their fan base are only going to be buying that collection. In order to speed up their shipping time, they will pre-package these collections and just slap a sticker on them and ship them on their way. Mooncat is definitely not one of those brands, because when I was making both of my purchases, they had kind of a weird selection of nail polish. As I said, when I bought the Mooncat collection, I added a top coat, which would change up the order from standardized to make it a little bit weird, but it still shipped out within an hour. The second thing I want to bring up is the shipping packaging. I actually really liked the shipping packaging. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, without showing my address, this is what it looks like when it's shipped. So it is a cardboard insert with all of the little cartons. Imagine there's nail polish on these cartons. Put in these little rectangle spots. that fit their standardized sizing. The entire shipping package is recyclable, which I think is something that most brands should try to do. Nail polish already is not a very environmentally friendly hobby, so when we can save on these other things like shipping material, I personally really appreciate it, and I tend to purchase from brands more often that puts in this effort. And also, I like the purple and the green. The next thing that I want to go over is the nail polish packaging itself. As you just saw, they come in these little cardboard cartons. They match the branding. It seems like they're going for a much more cohesive look this time around. But I want to discuss the bottles because they have a very unique handle. So let's look at Sweet Nightmare's bottle, and I'm going to be including a close-up shot of the bottle itself because I think it's important when we are discussing about these luxury indie brands. And yeah, I'm going to say it's luxury, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. But when we're looking at these indie brands, I find that packaging is really, really important. We're not going with a stock bottle. And I feel like that to me makes the price a little bit more worth it when I'm in the financial position to be purchasing a luxury indie brand in the first place. So we have the bottle itself, which is a very nice rectangular shape. I really like it. It's very heavy, which I appreciate. I mean, these are expensive polishes. I want it to feel heavy. I don't want to accidentally, open my window and a strong breeze comes in and knocks down half of my nail polish. Do you know how maddening that would be? But then the next part is the handle, and I'm going to, of course, insert a close-up of the handle because I'm not gonna. But the next part is the handle, and I've never seen a handle like this before. It is very reminiscent of a tall crystal, and I don't know if they were able to purchase this in bulk or if this needed to be molded to their specifications. Either way, it adds to the luxury feel. My only complaint is that I wish it was a little bit heavier. This feels like plastic, which it most likely is made out of. But that's my biggest complaint about the packaging, just based on aesthetics. My next complaint is that even though this handle is calling it a handle, it's a cap. Even though this cap is very luxurious, it is difficult to hold on to. While I don't have any mobility issues in my hands per se, I can imagine that if you did, you would have a difficult time with this, because when you are using it to paint your nails, the cap is so bulky that it can make it difficult to hold onto. And I find that I need to use all of my fingers to hold onto this cap while I'm painting my nails. That's why you're going to see in my swatches some awkwardness there, because I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Mooncat, and when it was its predecessor, Live Love Polish, kind of always had this issue. Before, they had this they had a little square cap that went on top of the real cap, and it was this short little plastic round thing. Like you had almost accidentally ripped off the actual cap and it was just the brush cap itself. So Live Love Polish / Mooncat has already had this issue, and I wish they had addressed this a little bit more in their rebrand. They had a perfect chance to make the cap a lot more user-friendly, and they just didn't. Either way, it's super aesthetic, so if you just want it for that, it looks amazing on my shelf. Let's get into some of the comments that I pulled on my Instagram, because y'all had a lot to say about this brand when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do this initial review or not. Because personally, I had seen some things on Reddit and on Instagram, but not enough to really not sell me on the brand. So I really wanted to see what you, my followers, had to say about this. Not only that, but this was my most popular question or poll, and I got tons of messages sent to me in DMs talking about this brand. The number one complaint that I saw was the Instagram versus reality photo. And as somebody who was scrolling through their website and then actually got some of those nail polishes home, I can see where some of the over editing of these photos is that's an accurate comment. I definitely noticed right off the bat that some of these colors were a little bit more saturated or the color had been tweaked a bit. I'm not sure if this is a conscious effort or more of a wanting to portray these color as accurately as the person doing the photography thought. On one hand, I want to be very forgiving because, as I've discussed here previously on my channel, nail polish colors can be a little bit subjective. However, when I swatched some of these colors that I picked out, a couple of them were even ones that you said were not accurately photographed. I can agree with that statement. Some of these are just not accurate online. I guess the biggest takeaway I can tell you as my viewer is that if you want to get an accurate representation, look for their swatchers. I found that some of the customer reviews had pictures involved, and I thought the pictures submitted by customers were much more accurate. The next step, let's get into why I call this a indie luxury brand, and for that I need a little sip of courage. I want to really discuss the cost of nail polish, especially the cost of indie brand nail polish, because I think there is a very clear distinction in the mainstream market between drugstore brands and luxury brands. So when I was considering making this video and as I got through my initial swatches, the idea of the cost of Mooncat really started playing around in my head. And so I wanted to talk about how much product you're getting for how much money you're spending. So I wanted to add some price points here. Mooncat's polishes, and they do have a wide range of formulas, actually one of the most diverse formula ranges I've seen in a while. Their price range from $13 for their cheapest. Oh, and by the way, I'm not including top coats and base coats in this, or to the best of my knowledge, I'm not including that in my price range, is anywhere from $13 to approximately $16. That is for 0.4 fluid ounces, and I'm going to do everything in fluid ounce. The next polish brand I'm going to bring up is Holo Taco, and the reason why I'm bringing up Holo Taco is because that's a brand that you see on my page all the time. This isn't so much to speak on the fairness of Holo Taco prices. I just wanted to bring up several different indie brands and a mainstream brand, just so you can get a little bit more of a clearer picture and just so that this review is more well-rounded. So Holo Taco's polishes range anywhere from $11 to $14, and they are also 0.4 fluid ounces. So the next brand I want to bring up is Glam Polish, and that is a polish that you see on my page and channel very often. Glam Polish's brand ranges from $10 to $15, but you are getting 0.5 fluid ounces, so a little bit more in every single bottle, and this is much more of an indie brand than both Mooncat or Holo Taco. It is still a large indie brand, but I think that their prices specifically reflect what a lot of other indie brands charge. Next up is another fan favorite, Starly. Now I wanted to find a brand that I would also deem a luxury indie brand, and I think Starly falls into that category, at least to my personal definition. You might have a completely different one, but this is based off of my opinion, and that's why you're here, for my opinion. But Starly ranges anywhere from $11 to $16, so we are seeing that high-end amount being the same as Mooncat, though their prices dip much more low than Mooncat. And you are also getting more product. You're getting 0.5 fluid ounces. And then just to round everything out, here's a drugstore brand that I like the formulas, and I think that they're very consistent all across the board. They also have a very large formula range. However, their prices are probably going to be the cheapest here out of everything because they are a mainstream brand. They range from $7.13 to $12.50, and that's specifically on their website. If you buy them from a drugstore or like a Sally's, you're gonna get different prices. So that was based off of Orly's website, and you also get 0.5 fluid ounce. So now that we've had that price breakdown, let's get into the swatches. Like, I've talked way too much. I hope this first section was helpful for you. I like doing these in-depth dives to the brand, and if there's something I missed, definitely let me know down in the comments below. So with all of that said, let's jump into the swatches. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the collection first and then the individual polishes that I picked up. Let's start playing with some magnets, and I suck at magnetic polishes, so you're gonna have to bear with me, and I actually suggest you find somebody else to teach you how to do this because I can never succeed properly. Our first polish is Treasure Trove, and it is a golden beige with a yellow shimmer that creates the cat eye. It has some of those ultra reflective glitters in it and some holographic. Now for me, I like to wait a minute because I feel like I get the most intense cat eye effect, but the minimum amount of time is 30 seconds. So if you're doing all of your fingers, all 10 of them, this is going to take a really, really long time. And I am only going to be doing 2 coats. This one was actually totally fine with 2 coats. I thought the opacity was just dandy, but there are a couple others that lean towards the jelly side of polishes. And yeah, you're going to have to do this again. It's a lot of waiting. I hope you have an entire evening to wait. There you go. There is the effect. I wish this one was a little bit stronger, but you know what? We can't have everything we want. Next up on the docket is Kelp Kingdom, and I was expecting this to be much more green, though I guess in reality kelp is kind of a muddy green. But, you know, for an Atlantis fantasy, I was hoping for a much brighter green, and this is one of those polishes again that had some issues with Instagram versus reality. It appears much brighter in the photos, but here it's a little bit on the muddy side, and while I'm not totally against that, I just had a whole different vision for this polish. It's still got a very pretty cat eye effect, that orange and yellow bronze. It's really nice, and I like this one a lot. Next up is Beware the Kraken, and beware, this one stains your nails like a mofo. I am going to be doing 2 coats, however, I did have a little bit of patchiness on my second coat, though it wasn't enough to warrant me going back in. As you can tell, I have trimmed my nails a good amount, so I just didn't want to, you know, spend another 2 minutes waiting on a single layer of polish. But this one is definitely probably my favorite out of the collection. I love the bright orange pink cat eye with the yellow bronze effect, and I love a good purple polish, especially in eggplant purple. You can really see those reflective glitters here. Next up is Sunken Splendor, and I was definitely expecting a gold polish with that name, but this is a very pretty teal, green, blue jelly polish with those reflective glitters and holographic glitters running throughout. And in addition, there are these very pretty green and yellow iridescent flakies running throughout the entire polish. I honestly wish that the rest of the polishes had these beautiful flakies in them. I feel like I would prefer that over the flash reactive glitters. It's just, you know, flash reactive glitter is very trendy right now, so I understand why they included that, but I just wish the rest of those flakies were in everything else. You know, me, a flaky queen. Poseidon's Prize is our last magnetic polish that we have in this video, and I'm a little confused why we had 2 such distinct blues in this collection. I think I would have preferred another color in addition, maybe like a red for some coral, or an orange would have been really fun. But I really like Poseidon's Prize. I think the magnetic cat eye is very pretty. I like the similar dark oceanic blue with that bright teal cat eye. I think it complements each other very, very well. And if you're into something a little bit more subtle for magnetic polishes, this could definitely be the way to go. I do want to quickly touch base on their Speed Demon top coat. I like it. I find that it's a little bit thinner than my preferred top coats. However, it does dry incredibly fast. Our next polish from my initial purchase is Sweet Nightmare, and this is my favorite Mooncat polish ever. And yeah, I know, it's a cream, but it's just like the perfect periwinkle purple in my opinion, and I think it's very opaque for that style of periwinkle purple. All I need is 2 coats, no matter what length of nail I have at the moment, and I just think it is absolutely stunning, perfect for spring weather. It's so plush and creamy. I actually really like this light cream from Mooncat. I don't know if all of their creams act this way, but I definitely would be interested in purchasing more in the future because look how juicy she is. Next up is another cream. This is Queen of Chaos, and I wanted to get a light and a dark cream to kind of test that out. This was one of the colors I had issues with the Instagram versus reality. In the photos that I saw on their website, this polish appeared much more pink, but in person, it is a lot more blue toned. And while I'm not upset, I still think it's a beautiful eggplant purple. I just was thinking that I was going to be receiving a different kind of purple in the mail. I like that it only needed 2 coats, and I thought it was very similar to Holo Taco's Indigo Away. Next up is Warp Zone, which is a beautiful kind of neon minty lime green, and it is, you know, spoilers, very accurate in the photos. Even though it looks like I'm going to need 3 coats right here, in 2 coats I had full opacity, and I really like the linear holographic formula here. I found that it was very similar to Live Love Polish. Oh, that's a mouthful. No wonder they changed their name. I find it was very similar to their original linear holographic formula, so all good vibes with this one. And unfortunately, we've come to the polish that I definitely did not expect to be getting. I thought I would be getting a denim colored holographic glitter, and I was really excited for this polish in particular because I loved the Live Love Polish holographic glitter formula. It was one of my favorites. And so when I got essentially a dupe to Holo Taco's Midnight Spark, which is a very purpley kind of blue glitter, I was disappointed. I wanted something that had that blue jean denim feel to it, and while the formula is still amazing, just not what I was expecting. And then the last polish from my purchases is Take Me to Your Leader, and I've worn this one the most, and while it definitely suffered from that Instagram versus reality, it is much more muted in person, but I kind of expect that with shimmers. I find that they photograph beautifully. But the picture for this one looked much more red based. You're getting a lot of that red in the camera right now, but if you are wearing this on your nails, it's not so visible. I do really love this polish, and I plan on wearing it a lot more. Okay, you've watched the video. You've heard my thoughts and opinions, you've seen the swatches. Now, what are your thoughts and opinions? So definitely leave a comment down below detailing your thoughts and opinions on Mooncat. I definitely found that speaking to you guys was incredibly helpful when making this review. I don't know if I would have even considered to make a review on Mooncat if I hadn't heard your comments and your concerns, and it was honestly the majority that made me go ahead and spend the money was your concerns, because I wanted to confirm that for myself. If you like this video, and if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. So I'm gonna